This is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com with another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Today is my friend, a Michigan gal, or who's in Michigan now, Cindy Bidar from SixFigure Systems. She's my go-to systems and checklist expert. She's an amazing digital course creator, and we're going to be talking about how to automate some of that stuff, how to get systems and checklists going just to save yourself time, grief, frustration, and overwhelm while you're working on your business. Right, Cindy?
Absolutely. Hi, Kat. Nice
How
to
long-
talk to you today.
Have you always been in Michigan?
I have, born and raised.
But your husband hasn't.
No, my husband is from halfway around the world.
Yeah. All right. So I'd like you to share a little bit about yourself.
Well, I wasn't always a digital course creator. I did not always work online, although I have always lived in Michigan. I started out actually, well, if you want to go way back, I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a writer for a living, which I kind of do now. But my income earning career, my longest lasting income earning career, I worked in a factory. I was a buyer for an automotive factory here in Grand Rapids. And then I started looking for, other ways to make money. It was a recession, and there was always the threat that I was going to lose my job because, hello, I worked in automotive.
In Michigan.
In Michigan. So while I never did lose my job, I was always looking for, ways to earn a little extra cash, get a little side hustle going. And I discovered online marketing, and I started out as a content and copywriter. I was writing copy, writing sales pages, writing blog posts, writing articles for my clients. I did that for a long time until one of my clients called me up one day and said, I need somebody to help me run my business. Can you spare 20 hours a week, and what would you charge me? So I started working for him for 20 hours a week while I was still doing my day job. And then one of his friends approached me and said, I need you on my team too. So I went to work for her, and I called up my husband and I said, I'm going to quit my job because now I'm going to work from home. And that was almost 9 years ago.
Are you glad that you transitioned into it rather than kind of trying to do it cold turkey?
I am, because over that transition period, I kind of knew that was my goal for, 6 months or so, that I was going to quit my job. And so that gave us time to, pay off some debts. We paid off our cars. We sold one of our cars because we weren't going to need two if I was going to work at home. And we put some money in the bank. So that made the move to a less kind of stable paycheck a little less stressful for us.
Yeah. Something I advise a lot of my clients to do, get that foundation under you, or
Absolutely.
You're going to really stretch yourself. I know for us, we had some major medical has taken a good chunk, if not pretty much all of our savings. And there's nothing we can do about that. But we only keep one car on the road. We've got two cars, but they're both paid for. So it doesn't make sense to sell one, because one goes kaput. We've got the other one there. All right. So let's get into the meat of today. Why do you think systems and checklists are so important and useful to businesses of all kinds, but especially our kind when we are solopreneurs working from home?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons. I have this discussion with a friend of mine. I'm sure you've been privy to this, where I have a friend who's also in this business who says that she doesn't use checklists and templates. She just wings it all the time. And that's certainly doable. Although I would say she's not winging it. She's got checklists. They're just here. She's following a process. She just doesn't write it down. which it is honestly what a lot of people do. I mean, we do that every day in our life, right? You load the dishwasher a certain way. You, clean your house probably in the same way every week. You vacuum first, and then you dust, and then you clean the toilets, right? You do it in the same way every day. You're following a checklist. And we do that because it lets us, number one, not miss things. So, we don't forget to put the silverware in the dishwasher after dinner. So we don't forget things. And that's super important when you're running a business. You can't afford to forget things. It also lets us work a lot quicker, because when you do the same things in the same order all the time, you get more efficient. And that's probably something that was really drilled into me when I was working in a factory, that you do the same things over and over and over again in the same order every single time. And you can't help but become more efficient when you do that. Checklists and templates and this sort of thing in online business also lets you easily hand off things to other people. So that's kind of the big goal for a lot of even solopreneurs. Someday I'm going to hire somebody to do this task that I hate to do. And someday I'm going to hire somebody to do this bookkeeping. Someday I'm going to hire somebody to set up my shopping cart for me. And when you have all that stuff documented, it's a lot easier to hand that off, because now the training is, a fraction of the time that you would have otherwise spent. And I had a fourth point, and now I can't remember what it was, but it was really good.
Well, it gets it out of our heads, so our heads are clear to work on new projects.
Yes. There's a saying, and I didn't understand this the first time somebody said it to me, about something taking up space in your head. But it really does. When you are trying to remember things and trying to, when you sit down to, let's just say, I want to set up a new product in my shopping cart or in my membership site. If I have to remember how to do that and when to do that, and all the, what size does the image need to be, and what colors do I use, and what's the process for setting this up, if I have to remember all of that, that's space in my head that is not available for the more creative things and for the things that only I can do, and that really take my I heard somebody refer to it as super thinking. It takes my super thinking time away, and my super thinking and your super thinking and every other entrepreneur's super thinking time is what makes us money. So to allow that space in your head to be consumed with remembering these little details that are, in the grand scheme of things, relatively insignificant, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, and when there are activities that we don't do all the time, you have to relearn what the steps are to do that. So that's another layer of time suck to take care of.
Yes. So yesterday, that's a really good point. Yesterday, I was teaching someone how to do a project, how to complete a project that's only done every quarter. So I was teaching another assistant for one of my clients how to do this particular project. It's only done once a quarter, and every quarter it's like, all right, now how did I do that again? And I have a checklist, but I still spend time thinking, all right, how did I do that? What's the exact process for this, right? So yeah, you're right. In that instance, it's even more important, because then it's not something you're doing every day or every week or even every month. So remembering the steps and the process and not screwing that up is a lot easier if you have some sort of a process or plan or documentation to follow.
I know in my documentation for some software that I just learning or that I use infrequently, but need to get right in a short amount of time, I keep in my systems now, you'd be so proud of me, my favorite link to how to. So I'm not searching for the one that's I can follow the easiest. I've already done that. So I just go right back, listen to it, stop,
Yep.
stop and stop, do the step, play it a little longer, do the step, play it a
Yep.
little longer, do the step, and pretty soon I'm done. I know that for Fast Action Fridays, which I started way back in 2014, and it's been on and off ever since then. You'd be so proud of me. I set up my own Trello board all for Fast Action Fridays.
Excellent.
It's got my templates for my checklists for what I need to do to invite guests, whether they've accepted, scheduled, pre-promotion, pre-production, post-production, after the fact promotion, and everything just goes from one Trello card to the next Trello card. And then I have this wonderful list at the end of all of the episodes in order, and I can see immediately if I'm missing a matching blog post on any of them. If there's a label that tells me, yep, I did the podcast and it's over where it's repurposed. And that, I didn't understand how much time that was going to free me by spending the time setting that up.
It is amazing the return on your time investment that you can get from something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems counterintuitive because you would think I'm going to spend, 4 hours setting this up and I'm going to save myself 5 minutes, but that's not how it works.
No, it's
you
not.
save yourself a ton of time just by, being able to follow along with the process. And that's not to say, I'm certainly not printing out a checklist and checking off every step along the way when I post a blog post, but I have it there to review. Mostly, I get done at the end and I go, oh, did I get all of this stuff? Okay.
Yep. And I think a lot of people, when they think about how overwhelming it's going to be to put this documentation in place for themselves, that they have to have every part nailed down. And that's not true either. I started just documenting as I went along each week and got to points where, oh, I actually do this step. That step's not in my list. And using Trello or a similar program, it was easy to add that step. I recently added running my raw video through Handbrake before I produce it in Camtasia. And it was easy to add that step. And now everything's there. So when I'm ready to hand it off to a VA again, she's got my rationale and my steps, and I can expect the same type of quality and output that if I were still doing it myself.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. What are some of your favorite tools to accomplish setting up systems and checklists for yourself?
Well, you know what? My favorite tool is the one that you're actually going to use. So that's important. You can document your business in a variety of ways. There are tools that are built just for that, like Sweet Process, I think, is one that allows you to actually create the workflows. The one that I think people are most comfortable with and that's kind of easiest to use is probably Trello. It's got a nice visual workflow with the lists and the boards and the cards, and you can kind of move things around and add checklists and link up to other documentation. So I think that's probably the easiest one for people to use. That's the one I tend to use. Another one that I'm just exploring right now is called
Airtable.
Airtable, thank you.
See, people, I really do follow Cindy well.
Airtable. Yes, I love Airtable because it's kind of like Trello married a spreadsheet and had a baby, which makes it super useful because not only am I all about creating the processes, but I am very big into tracking the results as well. And spreadsheets are critical to me for that. So the ability to merge Trello in a spreadsheet was like,
I have not mastered that. I have not taken the time to master that. I see the value in it, and I'm trying to do it
You
more and
see the
more
value in what? Tracking?
in the tracking of having the link and the name and the date
Mm-hmm.
and the statistical data for like blog posts and whatnot. I mean, I've started one with my Fast Action Fridays. So
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to kind of duplicate that. So I'm taking the baby steps into doing that more, not because I don't understand how to do it, but because it does take time to set up. And I'm doing it in the areas that I think are most useful to me right now,
Mm-hmm.
trying to focus on those money-making issues and stuff.
Yes.
All right. So Cindy, this is not something that I teach. I teach a lot of different things. I recommend systems and checklists. It's not something I teach, but you do. And I've been a charter member of your SixFigure Systems since the day you said, "Oh, I'm opening this up." And I went, "Oh, I'm right there."
Thank you,
So
Kat.
tell us how you came up with the idea of your SixFigure Systems um, idea, because I think it's a brilliant business model that I'm actually not stealing, but emulating in my own membership program. Um, why was it important to you to do this digitally and offer it to other people?
Well, I kept hearing the same issue from online business owners. Now, keep in mind, I worked with as a virtual assistant the first 7 years, 7.5 years of my career. I worked as a virtual assistant doing done for you services. I specialized in working with coaches and course creators and digital product creators. So that is my area of expertise. I didn't work with, I didn't work with speakers. I didn't work with, uh, you know, um, food bloggers or whatever. I was, I kind of focused in this coaching and course creation and product creation arena. And over those years, I would have potential clients come to me and they would say, "I just don't even know where to start. I don't even know I have this thing I want to sell. I have this business I want to create. I'm an amazing, I got trained as a coach. I'm a certified life coach, and I don't know how to build a business. I don't know how to put the pieces together online." And the other thing that I saw a lot of is, and I still see, is people, there's this concept known as shiny object syndrome, right? Ooh, Instagram. I got to be on Instagram. I got to do all the Instagram things. Ooh, wait, Pinterest. I got to go over there and I got to be on Pinterest and I got to be doing Pinterest. And wait, webinars. Somebody told me webinars were a really good idea. All of these things are really good ideas, but none of them are really good ideas if you do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of something else, because then, that scattershot, that shotgun approach just dilutes your overall effectiveness.
And you began thinking that none of it works.
And you begin thinking that none of it works. So my idea with SixFigure Systems was to say, you know what? I have run these 6 and 7-figure businesses. I have built them from the ground up. And I know that all of this stuff works, but you have to take a systematic approach to it. You have to, you can't just do it once. You can't post to Instagram once a month and see any results. You can't, you can't email your list once every 3 weeks and get a decent result. But if you take a systemized approach to it and you follow the process and you build that process into your business so it becomes easier and more efficient, then you can slowly add these additional blocks of more things, so you master the email marketing piece and you get that rolling really smooth in your business. Well, now you can add something else to start bringing in even more traffic. You can add that piece, but just like I said, a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit someplace else, and that's a really slow way to build a business. You need that focused attention.
And you also brought up the point, you need the flow that puts it all together from beginning to end.
Right. So you're not kind of out there going, okay, well, I know I need to do email marketing, but what email platforms should I use? And what do I send? How do I get people on my list? And what do I send to them once they're there? And how do I keep my open rates up? And how do I keep people engaged? You know, if you're just starting out and somebody tells you need to build an email list, these are the kinds of questions that are like, okay, well, that's not very helpful to me. Build an email list. What does that even mean? How do I even do it? And the kind of my sweet spot is where marketing and technology come together. So you can have, there's a ton of people out there who will teach you the marketing piece. Amy Porterfield makes millions of dollars teaching the marketing piece. But if you don't know how the technology fits into the marketing piece, it can be a real struggle.
Mm-hmm. So for those watching this, you're going to see a nice little link go across the screen with a free resource that Cindy's going to make available to you. And it's a funnel review checklist. And you can also visit her blog, and she's got tons of information there that will help you understand that. You can certainly ask in the Rocking Your Path community for help, or ask questions, get feedback, whatever. If you're listening to this, remember to go back to rockingyourpath.com, search for Fast Action Fridays and the episode with Cindy, and you'll have the link right there to catch her funnel review checklist. And I'm reading it over here. 4-step checklist to plug the leaks that cost online business owners money and add more value for your audience. I love that the focus is on helping us generate income, because if we're not making money in our business, we really don't have a business, or we won't have a business for long. Correct?
People, I'm sorry to interrupt. This sends me off on a rant, because people seem to be afraid to talk about making money, right? Everybody wants to talk about changing lives and making an impact and reaching more people and living your passion and living your best life. And all of that's wonderful, but you can't do any of it if you're not making any money. So, nonprofits make money. Even they make money. They may not post a profit, but they do have an income. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there to help people. So yes, the focus on my training is on making money, but with that money, that's what allows you to, reach more people and have a bigger impact and change more lives.
Exactly. Even the nonprofits have to cover their operating costs.
Exactly.
All right, we've got a couple minutes left. Take us through what someone would get if they were to sign up for your premier product, your membership program, SixFigure Systems.
SixFigure Systems recently got a really big upgrade. It used to be a drip-fed training where every month you would get a new training about some aspect of building a business, and that includes all of the checklists and templates and the video training to help you get that done and to help you create that process within your own business. And this month I upgraded it, or I guess it was last month now. This is October. Last month I upgraded it to be an all access pass. So what that means is that the minute you become a member, you log in and you have instant access to 20 plus training courses and processes that you can add to your own documentation library, and that you can use to train yourself or train your VAs on how to actually complete these projects. Like, for example, if you want to host a webinar to drive sales or drive signups to a discovery call, if you're a coach, I have a process in there and a training in there to show you exactly how to set up all the pieces. And there's a ton of pieces that go into running a webinar. So it will show you step by step exactly how to set up a webinar, what platforms to use, how to connect it to your email provider, what emails to send. I've got the templates in there that you can just fill in the blanks, load those up in your email autoresponder for the reminders and the replay emails, and how to host the replay and where to put it. It's all in there. It is completely, just wrapped up in a bow for you. All you have to do is follow the steps. So that is the kind of training that you're going to find inside SixFigure Systems.
Yeah.
Then the other piece that is so important is, a lot of times when you buy a training course or you buy into a membership, you get this big basket of goodies. Here you go. Here's all your stuff. But you kind of look at it and go, I don't even know where to start.
Or there's so much there, it's so overwhelming. You just freeze like a deer in the headlights.
Yes, exactly. So I didn't want that to happen. So I have built into SixFigure Systems 4 ways for people to actually connect with me and get their questions answered. So if you don't know where to start, come to a Q&A call, post in the Facebook group, let me know where you're at right now, where you want to go, and I'll help you find that training. This is what you need to start with. This is where you should begin. And then next, do this piece next. So that's, like I said, built into the system. So you're never just out there on your own going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll help you figure it out.
And I do know what I'm doing on a lot of those modules, but it's been such a time saver and energy saver to know that those systems and checklists are there. I have access to them. I can go to just the one I need for that particular project. And I love that they're self-contained, so to speak, but yet there's a natural flow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am, there's like a flow within them saying that indicates what the next step would be. Once you've got this done, now go do this.
Yes.
So go over to that training next. So it's very, very much Cindy. It's very systemized and organized and checklisty, but not in an anal professional organizer's way. I've been telling people all week, and my followers and clients know this, the Professional Organizers Association, I am sure, has a wanted poster with my picture on it, because I understand their systems, and it's great for people who think like that. I don't think like that, and a lot of my followers and creatives don't think like that. So I get along with Cindy's program really well, and yet all of the pieces are there for people who really want that step-by-step and like that check marky thing, do one thing, check it, one thing, check it.
Yep.
So,
well, it's like I said earlier, earlier we talked about my friend who says she doesn't use checklists and templates, and she feels that it stifles her creativity. And my response to that is, it is a recipe. And, just like if you were going to go out and make a new, create a new meal, you want to make beef Wellington for Christmas dinner. I have a really good idea what's in beef Wellington, but mushrooms and spinach and steak and some phyllo dough, but I don't know how to put it together, right? So I would go out and find a recipe for it. That doesn't mean that I have to follow that recipe exactly as it's laid out. I don't particularly like mushrooms, so I might leave the mushrooms out or cut them in half. But unless I know how it's put together to start with, I can't change it. I can't make it my own. So that's kind of the thing with done for you processes like you would find inside SixFigure Systems. Learn how it works, see how it can fit into your business, and then tweak it and make it your own. Make it unique to your business, because everyone's business is different. Everyone's audience is different.
I have found it has released my creativity to go create and spend less time trying to create the background of it. I don't need to spend that creativity there anymore.
I love that. That's awesome.
And I do tweak along with Cindy's training, you get copies of her Trello boards filled out just enough for you to take and make them your own, which is one thing I loved. Well, Cindy, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us here at Fast Action Fridays. You know I'm going to be a fan for a long time. And
Thank you so much for having me, Kat.
And a reminder, if you're watching this, you're going to see that link to get Cindy's free resource. Check out her other things online. If you're listening to this as a podcast over on one of our other outlets, come back to rockingyourpath.com, look up Fast Action Fridays in the search bar, and find Cindy's post there. This is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com, closing another episode of Fast Action Fridays, reminding you to come back next week when I will have another great guest. And remember, always rock your unique path to success. Bye-bye.